Welcome everyone, this is Simon and Deb. We're
Hi.
joining you from the Botanic Gardens.
Ah, sun shining! Yay!
Beautiful, out and about.
Yes.
I don't think we're breaking any laws.
No, socially distancing.
Social distance. Well,
Yeah, it's
pretty
for me,
close.
Yeah.
for today's purposes, we're going to just make that a fine point. Hey, we just want to join in, check in, see how you're doing, but also we want to be able to share with you some resources and ask a few questions. What are you doing? How are you thinking? Deb and I were talking a little bit earlier about like what we're observing and what we're seeing and all that kind of thing. And Deb, you were talking about how families have been engaging over during this period. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about what you're seeing and what you're thinking.
Sure. Well, I have one of the great privileges of being able to sort of sit and watch and look at all the different things that are going on. And one of the things that's really excited me is really the engagement between families and their children and what church looks like at the moment for them. And of course, church at the moment's at home. It's probably sitting in the lounge room, maybe in pajamas and Ugg boots and just in a different sort of relaxed environment. But there's a real organic engagement into families and their kids at the moment who are really beginning to, I suppose, maybe look at what's been going on always in their children's ministry, but it's probably happened down the hall.
Yeah.
And now it's happening in the lounge room. And
With the
now
family,
with
right?
The family,
With the family.
that's right. And some of the things that I've been really excited about is seeing there's a little boy in our division who has been doing his own church online. And for me, that actually speaks volumes because this is how kids learn. They learn through modelling.
Yep.
They learn because of what's going on around them, and they see something and they go, oh, this means something to me, and they then do it.
Yeah.
And this is what this young boy's been doing, and that actually speaks a lot. And then you've got the other families where you can see kids are sitting down and there's the excitement of doing the craft.
Yeah.
There's the excitement of talking about maybe what they've heard on, maybe it's been on JRev, or maybe it's been on Hills Kids, or all their different little things that they're doing within their local core. And mums and dads are seeing things, maybe what they haven't seen before.
Yeah. Maybe even interacting in like the discipleship of their kids in ways they've never done before either.
Absolutely. And for me, out of all of this craziness to do with COVID-19, it's probably one of my most loved things. But it's also one of the things that has got me thinking, so what does it mean next? What does it actually mean when we go back into what might look like normal?
Yeah.
And maybe that means that the kids continue to go into their children's group down the hall. But how do we continue that really good engagement that's been happening at home and the engagement where families have been really taking a forefront in what it is that their children are experiencing?
Absolutely. There's so much value that's come out of what really is a difficult situation for everybody. But there's so many wonderful things that have come out, like the way that families are engaging, the way, like I know as a dad, this is my job, so engaging in ministry with my son is just part of my normal day life. But seeing other parents engage is really cool. But you're right, Deb, there's so many things that we need to consider about, like if we're going to start phasing out and things are going to return to some sense of normality, what normality are we going to return to? And a great question to ask is, what have we learnt through this? And what are we going to take going forward into the new world? And I think that's really an important process for us to be thinking about and considering. I'm excited by that, and I'm sure we all are, about what we could take into the new future.
Yeah.
It's kind of like creating a new normal, right?
It is, and I think it's definitely worth, if you've been doing some things within your local core where you've been engaging with families in a different way, through online situations, through Facebook, through maybe it's been Junior Soldiers online stuff, anything along like that. and maybe you've been hearing different things. What have the families been enjoying about it? What has this time made a difference, and how is it that we can take some of those aspects into the new normal? Obviously, it's going to be different, and we're all going to love being together, and that is going to be a fantastic part. But I don't want to see us just going back to a place where maybe the engagement with families and their children, and maybe what's happening within their junior soldiers or in their Sunday, however program looks like. I don't want it to go back to what the old normal was. If there's been some positives that have been gained out of it, I'd rather see us shoot forward with some extra awesome positives.
Absolutely,
and jump into something different, and maybe we're going to come up with some amazing different way of looking at engaging.
Yeah, and Deb, you and I, we talk at length regularly about like actually discipling young people, right? So how does a young person disciple? What I've observed over the last couple of months is just the enormous creativity that sort of exploded from some places. The other thing we notice is that there are a lot of people stepping out of what might be their cultural norm to engage in ways like online Zoom, Bible studies, discipleship group, and there's a bunch of like older folk who would not normally be on social media having a crack to meet with the young guys and girls across their area online. And I think that's really cool, and I would hate for that part to get missed either, like just reverting back to, because we can meet in person, we stop learning to engage in the cultural world that young people live, because I just think that is something our young people really respect, is when an older person jumps out of their comfort zone and into the kids' world. I don't know, but the creativity is so great. I've been loving watching it. I don't know about you, Deb, but there's a lot of online content to watch each week, and I'm having trouble keeping up. And I think that's the best part. Like, there's so much good stuff coming out. I think it's great.
I reckon I go to church more than I probably ever did, because I go to so many different services and different children's and youth ones, and that's been a real privilege to actually get to feel like we've been able to be part of different core what they're doing and the excitement that it is. So, but maybe you haven't been doing that.
And maybe not. That's true.
Maybe that's something, and we would want to encourage you to think about, maybe is there different ways to do things?
Absolutely. Well, I think we could drop some links of like some places that are doing some really great work that you want to check it out. We won't name them because like you might want to explore it yourself. But we'll drop some links below to both our Facebook pages so you can check them out. But nationally, there's some really great resources coming out, as well as divisionally. So for the youth department, we've created a page called Leaders Lounge, and it's really worth checking it out. There's a bunch of resources on there that's coming out. There's the 4 factors of transformation of a young person. That's a really great tool. If you don't really know what you want to do with a young person, you're either discipling or you're doing community development. So if you're not discipling, check this out, but you should definitely be discipling. That should be your number one priority. But also, like young people, doesn't matter their age, isolation creates a real mental health factor. You should check out, there's a resource on there about helping young people in isolation with mental health. There's also like how to have fun online, how to have fun when you can't physically be together. There's some really great tools in there. It's really worth checking out. We'll post as many of those things as we can. Now, I know for the children's department, there's lots of the same material out there. Check out those 2 Facebook pages and you'll get a lot out of it. 2 things that both Deb and I wanted to share with you is that leadership development is still a big part of, just because you're not physically with young people at the moment, doesn't mean you should put your development on the back burner. In fact, this is the time to read a bunch of books. Deb, you were talking about one earlier that you were really keen to share.
Yeah, a really good one for, I think, Corps officers would be a great thing to actually read, but also for families to read and for mums and dads to be able to read. And it's called Parenting Beyond Your Capacity. It's by Kerry Newhofer. And there is another co-author that I can't think of the name, but
Reggie Joyner? Is it Reggie Joyner?
could be.
I don't know.
And it is fantastic. It's a really, really good one to think about just what it is to actually, we can only parent as much as we can as parents, and but this is taking it to the next level and how other people around you can come on board in that. And for me as a parent, this was absolutely fundamental for me when my year 9 daughter at the time was going through a very difficult time, and I actually had to look and go, maybe there's something I need to learn, always learning, and to rethink and go, there's something different. So I would really, really encourage family to be reading that, and Corps officers as well.
And that is super great. There's some community for leadership development as well. I know for the youth department we have our Leaders Lounge leaders training, which is the first Wednesday of every month. You do need to register for that, so check out the SANT Salvo Youth page or go to Leaders Lounge directly and find that. Register it. It's really great content. Last time we had from John Marion. If you to do anything with young people in the country, you will know who John Marion is for the Salvos. It was great, so definitely check that out. And for the children's,
yes,
Deb.
Very good. So Renee Pickens has been starting we've got a new closed group for children's ministry leaders that if you've got anyone that's championing children in your local Corps, we really would love them to connect into that Facebook group. That's the Salvation Army Children's Leadership Network. We'll have a link there. And we've just done 2 online network trainings, which have been fantastic. Our last one was actually just on Saturday, and our National Children's Secretary, Captain Joanne Smith, spoke on what it means to belong. Which is really, really important at the moment, because belonging in this environment's a bit different and it's a little bit more challenging, but we all need to belong and we all need to feel like someone knows our name and that we're important to someone. So that's actually been recorded, so if you're interested in getting to see that, then you could jump onto that, ask to join that closed group. But that's also where we share lots of information to do with children's ministry. So if you're not sure on what to do, I really encourage you to get on board. Even if Facebook's not for you, social media's not for you, it's a great way to sort of network and to get to hear from the wider body of people doing and experiencing similar things. So jump on board. You'll learn heaps and it will help to accelerate your ministry into different areas.
Oh man, it's pretty exciting times. Look, for both Deb and I, we just pray that don't miss any opportunity to share Jesus, right? Whether it's online, maybe soon to be in person, and it's up to us. It's our that's right. It's our responsibility as people to be as equipped as we can.
Yep.
Don't wait for someone else to tap you on the shoulder to invite you. Get some books, get some resources. Deb and I, we're available.
We're always here.
Give us a call, send us an email, text, carrier pigeon. Don't turn up in person, not yet. Soon. We just wish you all the very best. And we do this together, and God bless each and every one of you.
Yeah. Keep going.